We now react to some of the top headlines going on in the football world. Uh, a lot of headlines going on to the football world. Uh, Obviously the obvious ones with the Champions League final happening. Um, you know, it's a lot. Mbappe leaving to Madrid. But some of these headlines that I did discuss previously. Enzo Maresca, he is the new manager for Chelsea. Like, it's not confirmed. It's been confirmed, but, Chelsea announced it, all that. He leaves Leicester City after just one season in charge. He did lead them with 97 points, and they won the championship. He brought them up. He was part of Pep Guardiola's staff, so he adopted his possession-oriented tiki-taka philosophy. He is also Italian, and you've seen Chelsea have a good history with Italian managers and Italian players as well. So there is that added initiative, and he fits what this Chelsea new ownership group is trying to do in terms of playing more attacking football, more football pleasing to watch in terms of 90 minutes, more enjoyable. So he comes in and he provides that. Now, when it comes to experience, oh, by the way, he's 44 years old, and his deal ties him to Stamford Bridge until 2029, with the club holding an option to extend it even for a further year. That's absolutely crazy for me to decipher, but we could do a whole another show on that, so I'm not going to really go there for now. We'll probably discuss that later on as we go. But, Maresca, he leaves Chelsea. I mean, he joins Chelsea, and he's going to adopt this more possession-oriented game. He said himself, to join Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in the world, is a dream for any coach. It is why I am excited by this opportunity. I look forward to working with a very talented group of players and staff to develop a team that continues the club's tradition of success and makes our fans proud. Chelsea, there was reports saying Chelsea were very impressed by he interviewed and his real knowledge over the squad and his desire to coach this team and to take them to the next level. I've had my issues with this Chelsea ownership group for, y'all know my issues with this Chelsea ownership group. But at the end of the day, I think he is, I think this could be a potential good hire. It really, comes down to how much power he really has and whether or not he is just a coach, which, we got some other headlines to discuss, so that'll take well. United, they're saying their decision is coming with Ten Hag within this week. What is going on? What is going on? It seems like a new football operation has came into Manchester United, and they're still run like trash. So it's made me seem like, are the Glazers still really in charge? Is this NUS group just another cover-up for the Glazers? What is this? We're going to decide this week? It's been like so long. Even if you wanted to fire Ten Hag at this point, you're inhibiting the chance of a new manager coming in and being able to have a full preseason and being able to work with the team and get into what is going on? It just makes no sense. Why are you delaying this? They should have been decided by now. It's just absolutely incredible to me. And maybe this is just a marketing move by Manchester United to kind of lower any potential backlash if they were fear of them wanting to retain Ten Hag all along. But yeah, I don't know. They're planning Sancho talks before they decide on his future after he went off on a good run in the final, reaching the final with Dortmund, playing pretty well. They're planning to talk with Sancho before deciding on his future. He had a bust up with Eric Ten Hag, his future is still not decided over either. So United, they want to speak to Sancho before they want to decide what they want to do. Jason Wilcox and the director of their football negotiations, Matt Hargraves, are gonna talk with him before the start of the preseason. And I don't know. Move seems most likely when you look at the fact that they're probably going to retain Ten Hag after wasting so much time deciding whether or not he should be the manager or not. It seems like he is. But the problem is also with the move is he has a high wage, and United did spend a lot of money to get him, so they're going to try to recuperate some of that money back with his high wages. It's going to make it really, really difficult for United to get some sort of transfer that make them feel satisfied. And Dortmund, obviously, they want to re-sign him. But I don't think they're gonna want to pay a transfer fee and all that. They look like they want to do another loan deal, which could be possible with the fact that Jadon Sancho is tied up till 2026. But again, I don't think that's really the move that United want to do as well. Another loan deal. I think they want to recuperate some money back so they can come in and immediately help the squad right now. Just based on what they had last season, they're gonna want to improve. They're not gonna just want to give him away for another year. So that's the thing going on. There's another conversation I want to have, but I'm gonna save that for the end of the show. It's regarding France's Olympic team, but we're gonna hold that off to the end. Just looking for Jose Mourinho. How did I forget this? Jose Mourinho. He has been hired as manager at Fenerbahce. Jose Mourinho, probably the manager that I love the most in terms of what he did for Chelsea. It's just a manager I love. He's gonna come in at Fenerbahce, a team in the Turkish league that has to play 3 games in the qualifying rounds to get to the Champions League. That finished second in the Super League, finishing with 99 points, but finishing second, having 31 wins, 6 draws, 1 loss. The Galatasaray finishing with 102 points. He said, this is a move for him. I think it's a good move for him in the fact that he's going to have some of the best players in the league, which he hasn't really had this kind of job over the past few years. He's never had a job where his players are within the top 2 of the, when you look at what he had at Tottenham or what he had at Roma or what he had at Manchester United, his last 2 jobs, they're players, they're players that are not at the top class of the league. Now, Fenerbahce players, in terms of the European greats, obviously nowhere near them. But in terms of the Turkish league, it's Galatasaray and them. So I think he has a real possibility of going in there and making them that team to be in the Turkish league. And he also has some sort of an outside run to make a run with the Champions League. You see what he did with Porto, with Inter Milan. I don't think Fenerbahce could win the Champions League. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, even with Mourinho. But I definitely think he can make them a team that's very hard to beat and a team that can upset some of the big teams. I definitely do. He said, Mourinho said, one of the things is I bring attention in with me. More people in Europe will follow the Turkish league. Mourinho said. He said, I'm coming to work for Turkish football, for Turkish Super League, but fundamentally I come for Fenerbahce. My wish is that Turkish football improves at every level, but if I have to raise my voice to defend Fenerbahce, I will not think twice. This is regarding a apparent reference to the club's complaint over what is called unfairness. So I think that's a good move for Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce. Now, this is my main topic of this segment. France announced their preliminary squad for the Olympic team, and it was a 25-man squad, and it included a few overage players in that team, which was Alexandre Lacazette, who was coming off of a season with Lyon, scoring. Coming off a season with Lyon, I had the number up. 19 goals and 2 assists in Ligue 1, having 3 goals in the French Cup as well. Decent season for him. Not in the Euros, so a good, that's a good kind of player to bring into the setup. He also brought Jean-Philippe Mateta, who's had a very good season as striker for Crystal Palace. He brought him in the squad, 26-year-old. My thing with that is bringing in 2 overage players at the same position. Maybe you can bring in a guy like in the midfield that can control the game more, but maybe he wants to go with more 4-4-2 and have 2 target mans. I don't know. Obviously, it remains to be seen what Thierry Henry wants to do. His 22-player list will be announced on July 3rd. This is the original 25-man preliminary roster, so he's going to drop 3 players. And, it has, despite the fact that they were not able to get Mbappe, which I have a huge problem over, but I'll discuss that a little bit later. But despite not being able to get Mbappe, I still think this is a squad that's heavily favorites to win the Olympic Games, especially playing it at home. With the goalkeepers, you have Lucas Chevalier, Maresca. Okay, hold on. I'm not gonna read this entire squad, but I am gonna read some of the bigger players with the regards of Bradley Barcola from PSG. He's gonna be in the Euro squad actually. Michael Olise from Crystal Palace, Alexander Lacazette, Matthias Tell, Jean-Philippe Mateta. In the as attackers, that's a great attacking array for the Olympic Games. Warren Zaire-Emery from PSG. You know, these are brilliant players. They're very, very good players. And it's a struggle for these, especially European nations, to get good players at the Olympic Games because it's hard to convince the clubs otherwise. But I think the French League have done very good, have been very, willing to help out Thierry Henry and his Olympic team. He wasn't able to get William Saliba, which is disappointing for him, especially, he is an former Arsenal great, so, maybe he thought the relationship he had with Arsenal would help him. He's not able to get William Saliba. But the thing I wanted to discuss is, I don't really think clubs should really have a real obligation to deny players from joining the Olympic teams, to being able to be on the Olympic stage playing for their country. I don't think clubs should have that right because I think Olympics is such a big stage, and I think football at the Olympics, despite what people say, I think it's a good a good showing for the sport. And it's just really disappointing for me that FIFA don't go in there and mandate that as part of the FIFA calendar, as part of the international calendar, as part of the mandatory dates that clubs have to release players if they're on the squad, in my opinion. But that's a whole longer topic for another day. We're concluding the show there. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Soccer Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. I ask that we also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you once again, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit.